Welcome to the Gaming's Greatest Generation podcast, where we discuss news, reviews, and all things video games with your hosts, the OG Leo Hawley, the overachiever Mark Lombardi, and Mr. Contradiction himself, Matt Harms. Stay tuned for ways to connect with the G3 community, contribute to the show, or tell us about your greatest gaming experiences. Now, let's get to the show.
Greetings, gamers, and welcome back for another episode of the G3 podcast. Here on episode 28 on the 25th of February, you've got the whole crew here. You have Leo, aka known as Ice, on all things gaming and social media, and I'm joined by Mr. MowThemDown. Matt, what's going on, brother?
Hey, how's it going, everybody? I'm doing well. I hope that you're doing well, and hope that everybody watching, listening out there is doing well, enjoying their gaming lives.
And here you go, coming on the other end of the panel, wearing his blacked out sweater, rounding out the blacked out crew, because, you know, he's got the sniffles tonight, apparently. Mr. Snipe90, aka Mark, what's going on, brother?
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Let's get it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is the G3 podcast. Hopefully you're listening to us on your favorite audio streaming platform. Otherwise, you can check us out in video format on Spotify or on YouTube. And in any of those cases, feel free to go ahead and give us a rating, smack that big old hand button, give us a like, and feel free to subscribe if you like the content, you like the energy, you want to see more of it, and we can keep it going. So first and foremost, starting off with the news. A lot of news, a good amount of news came out this week, but most of it was game related as opposed to some of the stuff we're going to talk about, but we're going to cover everything nonetheless. So coming out of PlayStation themselves, PlayStation went ahead and unveiled the first look at the PlayStation VR 2. So looking at the thing, I mean, it's kind of just a love affair. They talk a little briefly about, the design and the features associated with the design. Some of the stuff dealing with the lenses and the venting. To me, it looks an awful lot like the Valve set, but we'll go ahead and we're going to round out a couple more pieces of news here real quick, and then we'll open it up for the guys to contribute. If you like your hardware kind of like the VR2, maybe not everybody's going to be on board with future hardware stuff. Case in point, coming out of GameStop, there's news that GOG will not be supporting or not be providing official support for the Steam Deck. So if you're familiar, the Steam Deck coming out of Valve is going to essentially be the mobile computer, very similar, although a little bit bigger than the Nintendo Switch, but it'll run your PC games. And Valve has gone ahead and said you can go ahead and it will run on their native Proton operating system. Otherwise, you can go ahead and flash it, put on Windows and whatnot. But there will not be, at least as far as GOG, which is a proprietary service out of CD Projekt, the folks that make Cyberpunk as 2077 as well as The Witcher. It's essentially their version of Steam. They've said there won't be official support for the Steam Deck, but we'll kind of talk about that as well. Rounding out the shotgun episode here of news stories, Bethesda went ahead and announced via their own website that they will be sunsetting the Bethesda.net launcher. So if you're familiar with the Bethesda.net launcher, it was best of times, worst of times, maybe more so on the worst of times. It was constantly referred to as a buggy launcher. It was a mandatory if you were trying to use something like Fallout 76, particularly Elder Scrolls Online, as well. And so that kind of led to issues with updates and everything like that. But they basically wrote a little piece talking about, hey, we're cutting the loss, if you will. Not that there was necessarily a loss on a launcher, but they're saying they're going to go ahead and move on and basically allow all users that have games using that launcher to migrate over to Steam. Woo! And you know what? Sorry, the very, very last piece. We do also have Nintendo went ahead and put out something via their news section on their website proper that there's a refresh, a renewed Nintendo online store where you can not only get games and stuff, but they kind of consolidate everything so you can get merchandise and other stuff in there as well. So let's go with Mr. MowThemDown. What do you got for all of that? Whatever you'd like to comment on, sir. The floor is yours.
Great. Primarily, as far as the GOG thing with the Steam Deck, I mean, I guess they are technically rivals in the space of the online marketplace. Uh, I don't know. I think the main thing is they have been very lax in their approach to integrating any kind of Linux support with GOG. It's apparently something that they may work on. It's a big community request over there. Uh, but thus far, they have not gone that route. They've already confirmed themselves that, you know, you can install Windows on the Steam Deck and you can play your games on GOG through there. So it's definitely a possible thing. Just might not be, you know, something you can do straight out of the bag, so to speak. Otherwise, don't really have anything for the Nintendo store. I can't say that I have a whole lot of insight into the PSVR 2 other than that it looks unique. I guess the design kind of conforms well with what they already have going with the PS5. So that's good, I guess, you know, since you're probably going to be sitting them next to each other on your entertainment center or whatever. But I'm still waiting to see like what the performance is going to be like. They're boasting some pretty impressive things about the displays and, you know, the headset itself and everything. So sounds real promising, but still too early to tell, I guess.
Okay, cool. Pew, 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 pew. Yeah, because that's
Sorry,
what we're going to be doing in VR.
What do you do? Yeah.
There's so many hosts to choose from. All right, Mark, what do you got on any of these stories?
VR2, haven't really dove into that area of gaming yet. I don't think I ever will. It's not my thing, but looks like the community is all for it. Looks good to them, I guess. They're all excited about it. From what I see from the comments, I know Leo probably going to jump on board day one. He eats that shit up, but Nintendo Store, not much to that, but looks like they're kind of consolidating their website, putting everything in one place, which is nice. You know, you get your merch, your games, your points, you know, store exclusive, all in one-stop shop, which is nice. Makes it easy for the consumer to, you know, go on there and easily find what you're looking for. Yeah, that's pretty much what I got on those.
All right, cool.
I guess.
Matt, you had something
Yeah,
else?
I guess I'll just hop in briefly in the, I guess, vein of, you know, consolidation or whatever that I think is primarily the deal with like the Bethesda.net, you know, shuttering or whatever. Everybody's tired of having, you know, 15 launchers or whatever for their different games. Bethesda.net was never really huge anyway, and it's just kind of superfluous for Microsoft to be, you know, spend resources running service for that. So yeah, hell, get rid of that, integrate them into Steam. You still got, you know, Windows Store, so they're fine. They don't need it. It's less junk for people to have running on their computer, hogging up resources. So
Yeah, I will say with the Bethesda.net launcher, the thing that really surprised me is why, and assuredly there was a whole lot more work to come with this, but why they wouldn't want to capitalize on it, right? So they went ahead and they said, hey, any of your games that you have on the launcher, which I mean, I don't have that many on there, but again, presumably it's going to be a lot of your online stuff and maybe some of their single players that are the single players being already available on the Xbox app on your PC. Why they wouldn't want to go ahead and just take a little bit more time and then have it be like a huge coming out party by going ahead and doing something like, oh, I don't know, having Elder Scrolls Online available to launch from PC Game Pass. Like, that's still not there. It's still not available to launch from the Xbox app. You're, you know, part and parcel to the same company now being under the Xbox brand. I don't know why they've just kind of like, I feel, and this is maybe just an opinion piece of mine, but I feel like everybody's just kind of bowing down to Steam based on the user base that it's had, which again, just a personal thing. I don't see what's so great about Steam aside from the fact that they went ahead and beat everybody to the punch, right? They were one of the first kind of universal PC launchers. So for me, it was a little disappointing that they didn't say something like, oh, yeah, by the way, we're going to have you migrate your stuff over to Xbox. So all your stuff could be under that roof. And then it creates a little more of a little more competition, if you will, for Steam. But instead, we're just going with the giant PC launcher in the room. So is what it is, but that's just me. Cool. So moving right along. I don't know how we didn't talk about this before. Like nobody said, "Hey, let's talk about the giant elephant in the PlayStation and PC room that is Sifu." So Sifu went ahead and launched just a couple weeks ago. It's got some really great remarks. Looking at Metacritic, it's coming out with a Metacritic score of 80 and a user score of 8.1. So here we've been seeing a lot of shenanigans lately of people going ahead and review bombing, games and just because of something petty, like, oh, it wasn't available on my console. Like, okay, great. Then here's an idea. Get the console. I get it. That we're in tough times when it comes to inventory, but that is no call to go ahead and basically badmouth the hard work of the developers. And it seems like Slow Clap, the developers here at Sifu, put in a lot of great work. I mean, do you guys have anything? I want to get my hands on it, but again, I'm kind of in the same boat as I was with Horizon Forbidden West, or Horizon Forbidden West. Why am I going to go ahead and jump on that one right now when I still have such a backlog that by the time I actually get to play the thing, it'll probably have already been on discount if I buy it like right out the jump. Mark, what do you think? And you of the three of us really wanting to get your hands on a PS5, have you thought about getting Sifu on PC in the meantime, or are you going to still wait and play it on the majesty that is the PS5?
No, I'm gonna wait for that clearance. I could see it going on sale, and maybe next month or two. It looks good. It's a lot of positive feedback from the community. People are saying it's a short game. I'm not sure the whole, plot and all that, but yeah, I'll wait. Nothing I can see, playing next day, buying it, and spending hours on it, next day. So I can wait.
Yeah, I think the discussion point of it being a shorter game, I think I saw somewhere it's somewhere in the range of 16 to 20 hours. That being said, I would imagine there's a big dependency there, right? Because the whole game mechanic is you go through, you battle all these baddies, working your way to a boss. I believe I've heard there's like 6 levels, so 6 bosses that you have to get through. Who's to say if there's maybe going to be, ones that they add in as DLC later on? But that being said, every time you go ahead and die, you essentially are able to go ahead and use, oh man, I forget what it's called right now, but you're able to use a form of enchantment, forgive the wording there, to basically come back to life. But depending on your soul count, I think it is, you go ahead and you age relative to that. So, the idea is to beat the game before you go ahead and you age out, if you will. So I think part of that with the gameplay and the speed by which you can complete the game varies based on how good you is, right? So there are some people that we've probably seen out there, they're like, all right, I beat it in 12 hours. It's like, all right. Whereas somebody like yours truly would probably play through it, and aside from wanting to maximize my gameplay, that's not really my number one style. So I'd probably take close to that 20 plus hours to finish it. Matt, what are you thinking about Sifu? Is it something that you're interested in?
I mean, I hate to be the review bomber, but I went ahead and purchased it. I got
Shocker.
swept up in the hype. Doesn't work on my Xbox, man. 0 out of 10. I can't. No, I've heard good things. I'm sure it's not necessarily perfect. I have zero qualms with a 16 hour 20 experience if it's a good solid experience. We'll get back to that, I guess, here a little later. But yeah, I don't mind if a game is concise and delivers a good experience. And I don't need to be running back and forth between the two same spots over a gigantic open world or whatever to have 100 hours of gameplay or whatever. So not a problem for me. If I ever get a PS5 or whatever, then I'll check it out, or maybe on PC, I guess, if I ever put something together there. But yeah, seems cool.
And who knows? We'll see, right? There's more and more whispers in the ether of more news coming about the Project Spartacus, PlayStation's Game Pass competitor, and so who knows? Maybe they'll go ahead and they will have a PC component to that, so that way you don't necessarily have to buy your PlayStation games on Steam or Epic Game Store if, I don't know, you want to continue your trophy count or something to that effect, right? If you're into the weird meta like I am in that regard. So
Nope.
yeah, nope, he's alone. All right, cool. But when I hope to not be alone is when I go ahead and hop into Destiny 2, the Witch Queen expansion. So that also just came out, and there's just nonstop great reviews coming out about this. So for those that are not Destiny initiated, I'm not the master know-it-all when it comes to this stuff. We have a buddy of ours that plays it far more regularly. That being said, if you've been following it, Destiny is a Bungie IP that they came out with several years ago. Destiny 2 came out, I want to say 5 years ago off the top of my head. I could be wrong on that one. But they've added several expansions to the game along the way that have just added to the lore, added to the story. The Witch Queen being the newest and biggest one that they've gone ahead and capitalized on years of storytelling leading up to this launch. And so what we're seeing is a lot of great reviews. So a lot of people are saying really good things about it. They're saying the wait was worth it. Who knows? Because the Destiny community is an extremely passionate one. They're more than happy to let you know what works and doesn't work. And I know we talked about it offline. None of us have played it. So unless you gents have something else to add on to what I threw out there, we're just going to press.
Go right on.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent, cool. So moving right along, the other big elephant in the room, the newest, greatest launch that just happened yesterday. Yeah, it should have been yesterday. Elden Ring is now out. The legend, the myth, the thing that people have been so hyped over. The game developed by From Software that I guess there was some collaboration with George R.R. Martin going ahead and collaborating in the writing of this game. The hit coming out by Hidetaka Miyazaki basically is a FromSoft Souls-like game, but in an open world fashion. So kind of the same thing. People have said that you can go ahead and finish this game in about 30 hours. The thing that I find most remarkable, it's been a long time since I've gone ahead and seen a game that has had such great reviews and remarks on Metacritic. It's coming out with a 95 on PC, a 95 on the Xbox Series consoles, and a 97 on PS5. So Elden Ring, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't understood the hype about it, but that's also because I'm not a Souls guy. Matt, you and I talked about me going ahead and taking that plunge a couple weeks ago when a lot of the Souls games were on sale. But again, my backlog's a monster. But that being said, Souls, I feel like you've played something before in the Souls franchise. What are you feeling about this game?
I mean, I've dabbled with that to a varying degree. The only Souls-like game I could say that I believe that I've completed would be Fallen Order, if you're going to consider that. It's kind of like formulated around that template. It's not really quite as punishing, but I've played the beginning bit of Dark Souls, the first one, a lot of times, but yeah, that game is it's all just trial and error. You know what I mean? It's intriguing, but I always get so bored so quickly that I want to hop around and start doing my thing, bouncing around game to game. So yeah, I don't know. I'd love to get into it someday. I hear that those games really are mastercraft as far as the quality of the world building and just really everything about it. I mean, people are so passionate about that whole franchise and whatever from software. So yeah, I don't know. It looks cool. Elden Ring looks cool so far as what I've seen. I do hear it's not maybe performing quite as well as people were hoping in terms of actually running on the various machines that it's out on, but I'm sure they'll be working on that. Worst things is that it sounds like they're mainly just frame rate issues, holding a steady frame rate. But I mean, hey, if that's the worst you got going right now, like for a huge title like this at release, I'd say they're doing all right. So GOTY contender, I guess, 2022.
Yeah, most definitely. I would concur on that one. I mean, we've gone ahead and we got great reviews and remarks here. We're going ahead and already seeing there's talk. I don't know if they pushed it yet for a day one patch, basically trying to resolve some of those issues that you were referring to. And yeah, I mean, hands down, we on the show have talked about using 85 on Metacritic as kind of our benchmark to identify, hey, this is probably going to be something in talks for Game of the Year. And last year for the Game Award nominees, we were pretty much on point with regard to the nominees. There was a couple titles that we didn't expect, a couple titles that hit under that 85 on Metacritic and were still considered for awards. But I would definitely throw, my coin in the ring, if you will, to say that Elden Ring is definitely going to be Game of the Year contender. Mark, what are you thinking about Elden Ring? You're going to get good and play this game? Is it something that you're interested in?
Sadly enough, I can't say it is. Never really got into the Souls games. I mean, yeah, it looks good, but it's not my cup of tea.
All right, cool. So we'll see. It sounds like
Mark's kids beat him up enough at home already. He doesn't need to get more
there
punishment in
you
this
go.
video game.
Yeah,
The,
wow.
vi-
Yeah,
the
I'll need to
video
break out
game's the break,
the
right?
razor blades.
Yeah.
Inside joke, inside joke. Why go ahead and die in a video game when you can just lose your soul over and over in real life, right? All right, cool.
Yeah.
And with that, our last piece of news, to again, kind of like to me, it was kind of no surprise, similar in fashion to the unveiling by Take Two and Rockstar that they were working on GTA 6. Guess what, guys? Capcom went ahead and officially announced that they are developing Street Fighter 6. So the logo has come under a lot of criticism, basically being like something that you could straight up get off a template maker for any type of generic brand. I watched the trailer, the video, the teaser, if you will, that they went ahead and talked about for this thing, and it looks like it's going to be quite a bit different, a different take than the animation style and whatnot that we've seen of past Street Fighter titles. Mark, I don't recall. I feel like you're the fighter, or the least of the fighters. Matt and I are the ones that definitely get into it specifically with the Mortal Kombat brand. Street Fighter, is that of any interest to you?
I haven't played. I think 4 was the last one I played. I did see a teaser
Or
as
would be the
well.
one on Xbox?
Yeah. It does look more animated, like you said, if that makes sense to people. Like, it's not, like the
Maybe
old
more
school.
CG.
Yeah. It's kind of odd, but I mean, they only gave you a 10-second little teaser. As far as the little logo is concerned, it's a little funky. So I'm not sure kind of direction. Maybe they're trying to change things up over all the years. So see where it goes.
Yeah, definitely. We shall see. Matt, is this something you're going to keep your finger on the pulse of?
I think the last Street Fighter game I played was probably like on the Super Nintendo. So it's probably not something I'm gonna like dive into immediately. If you pick it up, I'm sure that we'll smack each other around or whatever. I'll be E Honda. But no, I'll check it out, I guess, if we have the opportunity, but it's not something I'm really like keeping my eye out for.
And one more time for the audio listeners, how does E Honda go?
We probably no, it's not getting trouble.
All right, anyways, cool. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break, and we will be back right after this.
Heard something you liked? Maybe you want to showcase a great gaming experience? Or perhaps you just want to share a laugh with the crew. Join the Discord by using the link in the show notes. We look forward to you being part of the community.
All right, gamers, and we're back. So moving on to our next segment. If you happen to cue in on what we were talking about last week, the DICE Awards actually just happened last night here in beautiful Las Vegas. So What are the DICE Awards? So the Academy of Interactive Arts and Science goes ahead and they host the DICE Awards. It's essentially developers respecting other developers, right? It's awards for devs by devs kind of deal. And so just going through the list, we previously talked about Ed Boon went ahead and received he was inducted into the DICE Hall of Fame. And then Phil Spencer also received the Lifetime Achievement Awards. Pretty good speeches by both of them. Lots of humility. I was actually pretty impressed by that. But insofar as the awards, as for the DICE Awards, we talked previously about all the nominees. Shotgun episode. We're just going to kind of roll through these right quick, and then we'll talk about the things of interest. So winning for Immersive Reality Technical Achievement, Lone Echo 2. Outstanding Achievement in Animation, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. Outstanding Achievement in Art Direction, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. Outstanding Achievement in Audio Design, Returnal. Outstanding Achievement in Character went to Resident Evil Village. Outstanding Achievement in Game Design, It Takes Two. Outstanding Achievement in Game Direction, Deathloop. Outstanding Achievement in Original Music Composition, Returnal. Outstanding Achievement in Story, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. Outstanding Technical Achievement, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. Action Game of the Year, Halo Infinite. Adventure Game of the Year, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. Family Game of the Year, Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. Fighting Game of the Year, Guilty Gear Strive. Racing Game of the Year, Forza Horizon 5. Role-Playing Game of the Year, Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. Sports Game of the Year, Mario Golf Super Rush. Strategy Simulation Game of the Year, Age of Empires 4. Immersive Reality Game of the Year, Lone Echo 2. Mobile Game of the Year, Pokemon Unite. Online Game of the Year, Halo Infinite. Outstanding Achievement for an Independent Game, Unpacking. And the Game of the Year, It Takes Two. Matt, go ahead, get your gloats in. I'll let you start it off.
All right. So, I mean, primarily, I'm happy that, I guess, if it wasn't going to be Halo, I guess with the audio design, Returnal, like I said, haven't experienced directly, but have heard lots of good things about them. Really wanted to make use of the 3D audio engine and the PlayStation. So good for them. That's a cool deal for them. Halo getting the Action Game of the Year, solid. That's good for them. I am a little surprised with the Online Game of the Year, maybe just with some of the other contenders or whatever, like nothing else, the Final Fantasy deal. But yeah, it's been a minute since I've been back. I don't know if they fixed Big Team Battle yet. I'm hoping, but gotta get back to that, I guess, eventually. But then, of course, It Takes Two, baby. Game design and then Game of the Year, all the way. We gotta get old Joseph on the show. But yes, Game of Two. Woo! That's all I got.
All right, excellent. Mark, any of these stand out to you or any ones that you were happy to see achieved?
I know what he's disappointed about.
or that, I guess.
I like to see Inscription in there somewhere. But happy to see.
Right?
It was nominated, yeah.
Yeah, a couple spots. But a lot of Ratchet and Clank. I mean, it's nice. Still upset I haven't played it yet. Leo, you haven't played it either, so happy to see Mario Golf made the sports category. And what was the Halo Infinite. I mean, it's got a lot of fan base, so I guess that was a no-brainer there, even though it had little hiccups here and there.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but kind of uneventful DICE Awards, I would say.
Yeah, I mean personally, I like that of the DICE Awards, right? They get in there, they have their speakers, they get pretty much to the point. Here's the awards. We don't worry about sponsors or any of that jazz. Game Awards is much more grandiose, and let's be frank, like a lot of the attention goes more towards game trailers and unveils, world premieres than maybe enough respect goes to some of the awards, right? Like sometimes they'll go to a commercial break and they'll be like, oh, by the way, here were these 5 award winners. And you're just like, wow, okay, great move, guys. Anywho, as for my impressions of the Game Award, Matt, I'm sorry, I haven't changed my opinion. Like, It Takes Two was a good game. I'm sorry, I don't think it was Game of the Year. Anyways,
That's fair.
but you know what
Hit
matters?
that sweet spot with that nice 20-minute, 20-hour runtime.
Oh, I was like, where's he going with this?
Yeah.
But you know what? In this case, our opinions don't really matter because this was the devs that were picking for this one.
Well,
I will say
they concurred with my opinion, so
I will say I was surprised to see Ratchet and Clank win 4 awards,
yeah,
but not win Game of the Year. Like that, I'm sure Sony and Insomniac were
it's a
kind of feeling
conspiracy.
that one.
I
It's
paid
a
a lot of
conspiracy
money,
against them.
and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, buddy. Anyways,
hey,
but yeah, so this brings about an interesting question, though, right? Will we go ahead and see Halo Infinite at the Game Awards this year? Because remember, when it launched this last November, it was outside the deadline to
Elden
be
Ring's just gonna
nominated.
take everything. It's
We'll see, right? But the fact that Halo went ahead and was recognized by fellow devs for its accomplishments, both in Action Game of the Year and Online Game of the Year, we'll see what that, how well that holds weight when it comes to the Game Awards this year, coming most likely once again in December. So moving right along into our third and basically final section for this evening, if you will. There was a hot wash of sorts, right? So this news came out of MSN, but there was essentially a hot wash that EA and particularly DICE went ahead and looked at, hey, how did we do, or what could we have done better to possibly hit the mark, because they felt they didn't really hit the mark when it came to the release and follow-on support, initial support for Battlefield 2042. So hot wash, not really anything. At least that's what I call it. It's not really anything new, right? It's basically kind of an after action when you have a game release or something to that effect. Developers, publishers, they're going to look and say, what could we do better next time? One of the things that was interestingly mentioned was EA's staff wasn't really blaming Halo Infinite, but they did cite it as a contributing factor as to why people weren't playing Battlefield 2042. So I went ahead and I heard this, and I didn't want to give it much mind, but then a couple of things started coming to mind, particularly when we think about EA's previous decisions of releasing games, particularly Titanfall, which they left to basically die, going ahead and being launched between a Battlefield title and a Call of Duty title, basically cannibalizing because they are the Battlefield studio or the publisher, right? We also look at Cyberpunk 2077, how it launched pretty ugly. And now with the patch that we just talked about last week, it's getting all kinds of praise and people may be, picking it up for the first time kind of deal. We look at other titles like Crossfire X, which Xbox went ahead and was talking about in a number of their unveils and the summer show that they had last year in conjunction with E3. And then we think about titles like No Man's Sky, which thank you to Hello Games for going ahead and sticking true to their word and providing support for that. Because if you go ahead and you look at how that game launched and the promises that were made, I remember going to PSX here in Las Vegas in 2014, and I saw that game for the first time prior to its launch, and I was in awe. And then when it came out, it left some pretty big shoes to fill, right? It didn't meet the desires. So the question that I thought about that I wanted to pose is, as we circle back and we talk about Battlefield 2042, and there's been a lot of rumor of EA potentially going ahead and making the game a free-to-play at this point because they didn't hit the mark, and they left a lot of ground uncovered, left a lot of money on the table, if you will. It begs the question of, like, why do these publishers still release games that are not ready for the limelight? Why do they not go ahead and take their time? Clearly, it's a management decision in many of these cases, and poor management decision. So it kind of sets it up, in my mind, for a discussion and begs the question of, how are we going to go ahead? Because this show is most likely listened to by more avid gamers, right? But when we look at the general gaming population, the folks that are rushing to the stores in the October, November, the pre-holiday season to try and go ahead and scoop up the titles, hence why we still see some of these major releases significantly in the November time slot. Why do these publishers still go ahead and basically sacrifice a quality product to bring out something? And will we get to a point where they can't consolidate and recoup the money that they've spent in development to the point where they have really no other option but to do exactly what we're seeing right now and basically going ahead and being rolled up into a PlayStation or Microsoft or Take-Two? I'm gonna leave it with, since EA didn't hit the mark necessarily on Battlefield 2042. Mark, what are you thinking about this?
I'm gonna actually bet and toss it over to Matt there because I feel like he's got a lot on his mind.
Matt, with the contemplation face, what are you thinking? What Tell us about the gears turning. What's really grinding you right now?
Little
No,
Matt,
I
little
mean,
Matt, get him, get him.
yeah, I can't say anything's really like grinding me or whatever, but yeah, I mean, this is something that has been happening for, I mean, quite a while now. The problem is that, you know, people tend to just keep purchasing the titles, so there's no there's no disincentivization, if you will, I guess, for the developer or for the publisher, less the developer, right? But for the publisher to be like, no, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and put this out. You guys can keep working it after it releases. And then, you know, we'll be able to get that cash flow coming in because we're spending so much money on all this stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's a problem with management, but it is uh, very intrinsic to the industry anymore. So yeah, I mean, I think that's part of the reason that you're seeing these large studios being okay with, you know, being acquired. It's like, hey, we just don't have to worry about it anymore. Whatever, you know, Microsoft has oodles of money, so they can, you know, deal with, you know, a slower, you know, income stream or whatever from maybe direct sales or whatever. You know, they got the whole Game Pass thing as part of their whole approach and pitch and everything. But yeah, people just need to stop buying trash, you know, yearly or every 2 year releases on these big, huge titles that are supposed to be, or that people are wanting to be monumental improvements that the developers are going to try and deliver upon, but are never going to have the time to achieve. Uh, Specifically in EA's case, I mean, I think they what was the most recent deal or whatever for like NFL rights, like 1.5 billion over a few years or something. So like they, you know, they got to keep that cash coming in. They can't allow DICE to be like, you know, hey, we really want to, you know, do something great and take our time with it. You know, they're like, well, you got 18 months or 24 months or whatever, you know, get it done. So yeah, I mean, it's an unfortunate deal. I'm not sure when we'll start to see that get better. The scary thing now is, you know, okay, yeah, people aren't going to continue to buy the game every year at the price we're wanting to sell it. So now it's going to be, you know, well, we'll go free to play. You can kind of already see the groundwork with what they were doing with the specialists in 2042 rather than the classic, you know, class system. So now it's just going to be, you know, yeah, you don't have to buy the game. You just download it and play it. But then, you know, give us $1 every couple of days or $20 here on some skins or whatever, you know, we'll just nickel and dime you in, you know, perpetuity.
So I'm gonna keep it in your ballpark right there,
Hooray.
Matt. So since you went ahead and you're talking about essentially operators, do you see this
No,
going the
operator,
direction
yeah.
of something like a Rainbow Six Siege, where they're gonna go ahead and just
100%.
consolidate?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. I, if I'm being honest, I thought that's where that was going ever since they started talking about that. So yeah, going free to play would help to get, I mean, a greater player base in, but would also lessen the blow in terms of, you know, well, you know, to really play effectively, you're gonna have to keep up on these, you know, operators, excuse me, and you know, you gotta buy them for a few bucks a pop. So
Yeah,
I
and
don't
for
know.
those that you know, Rainbow Six isn't their wheelhouse. Rainbow Six Siege, the multiplayer game by Ubisoft, goes ahead and kind of capitalizes on the Rainbow Six franchise, the Tom Clancy franchise, but they have it. how could we best describe this thing? So it's a tactical shooter where both sides are taking turns in their roles of either defense or offense. And the big picture, monetarily speaking, when you're talking about Rainbow Six Siege, is over time they release new operators, and every operator is essentially behind a paywall. You either go ahead and play repeatedly in this game to go ahead and earn in-game credits that you can then translate over into a purchasable item, that being these operators, or you go ahead and you pay with cold hard cash and have it purchased that way, and that's on top of being able to go ahead and buy skins and special weapon components and whatnot. So Mark, right back at you, baby. What are you thinking about EA and Battlefield 2042? You bought 2042, right? I'm not sitting here to drag you through the mud. Of the three of us, you're the one that bought it. What are you thinking? Does this news kind of shock you that they may or may not have blamed Halo Infinite? Like, we've also played Halo Infinite together. You probably have the best comparison base of which one is a more worthwhile or more fun online game to play. So, feel free to give us your thoughts on that. And is consolidation really the end result when these companies are striving so hard to recoup these hundreds of millions of dollars in game development?
Yeah, I did hit the pre-order on that one. I always, jump the gun on game purchases. I thought it'd be something different to play with the homies that didn't get it, but I did have fun with it.
If it goes free to play, that's the thing. It's bittersweet for Mark if it goes free to play, because it's like, well, yeah, I guess I spent that $60 too early, but now I'll have the homies to play with. So
I'm not upset about the money. Money can't take it with you, but I have played some, not too much of it, but enough. I mean, it's better than it was at launch. A couple updates here and there. I will say, how many times have you seen a game come out and then there's a day one update, a week later update? It's coming more and more. You can see it a lot more these days.
Like Leo was talking about No Man's Sky. I remember. Did they finally get a scoreboard? They finally got the scoreboard in 2042, right? No,
not to my knowledge.
Oh man, that's
I know. Yeah,
yeah. I think I literally was listening to something earlier this week, and they said, seriously, they still don't even have a scoreboard in that thing, and I was just like how? It's Battlefield. So for me, that's extremely painful, right? I started playing Battlefield with Battlefield 2 on PC. This was in the very early 2000s, right? And I've gone ahead and over time really bought just about every Battlefield that's come out, including the Battlefield 2 that came out for the original Xbox. And I thought that was a super fun game. And, this one was really disheartening to me because I was looking forward. As soon as I saw the title 2042, I was like, yes, because 2042 was, right?
2142.
2142. Thank you. Numbers. 2142 was kind of a cult classic in the Battlefield sense, because you went from very modern day and in some cases the past stuff like Battlefield Vietnam to the super futuristic. They had mechs. They had flying mechs. It was
hover tanks.
Hover tanks. It was a very different taste on Battlefield and different take. And a lot of people liked it. And so 2042 essentially was supposed to be kind of an ode to that, but not necessarily so grandiose and so outlandish that, it was essentially like Terminator type stuff going so far into the future. And it really, when I saw the game, and again, I tried the beta when it came out, and I was in the group that was going and being somewhat vocal in forums and stuff going, please don't release this. It's still buggy. And so, surprise, surprise, the powers that be went ahead and released it anyways. But we're going to go ahead and take another quick break, and then we'll wrap up this conversation. Then we'll go with a new section, kind of new section, that we're going ahead and adding to the show. But we'll be back right after this.
Are you an industry insider? A professional interested in working with us? Maybe you just have an incredible gaming story to tell, but calling isn't your thing. Email us at gamingsgreatestgeneration@gmail.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
All right, gamers, we're back. So we're continuing this section where we talk about essentially what is the future that we're going to see with a lot of these games. If we continue to go ahead and see game development cause such difficulty and such a cost influx for development, are we going to need to see other sourcing come? We've already seen DLC. We've already seen microtransactions. We on the podcast have kind of avoided the NFT talk. Honestly, I don't even want to talk about it because I think it's going to be a fad that's going to come in to the game discussions and then go right out, even though some executives in the gaming sphere will maybe have you believe otherwise. And it was awful ironic, actually, at the DICE Awards. Greg Miller and Jessica Chobot, the hosts, went ahead and actually said something to that effect of, hey, keep those NFTs outside of our games. Anywho, it disturbs me a little bit, this notion that if these games continue to not achieve financial success, that they are just going to say, okay, eventually everything is going to be a free to play, right? Fortnite is killing it right now. You've got Rocket League has now gone free to play, so that's something else out of Epic Games. Clearly, they know what they're doing because they're able to go ahead and create these, these mega hits that are free to play, and then they have microtransaction and whatnot on the inside. You got Apex Legends, which is out of EA and was frankly made by Respawn, that a lot of people are pointing to as the only shining star, if you will, in EA. So Matt, you have always been a champion of the little guy and a bludgeon to those that would want to go ahead and nickel and dime you for every little purchase within a video game. Do you think that, and this is I want to kind of keep you on your toes here, do you think that consolidation may be the answer
to avoiding NFT stuff? Absolutely not.
NFT microtransaction, just
Yeah,
basically
as far as the
charging us to hell?
microtransaction thing, no, absolutely not. No, Microsoft was the one who really made the big push back, originally, I think like in 360 days or whatever, really started doing microtransactions real hard. I don't really see that changing. I don't see that going away. That seems to be the more and more of the focus. However, at least for now, they have seemed to kind of like poo-poo the NFT concept. However, but if that becomes more prevalent and that's really taking off elsewhere, they're absolutely going to get on board with that. Like, there's no way that they're not going to. Yeah, I'm pretty leery. I'm not really interested in the whole NFT thing personally, but I guess if it doesn't ruin the I guess if it doesn't ruin the experience any more than the microtransaction thing, then whatever. If I can still, just avoid it entirely or whatever, then cool. Something tells me that might not really be the case. I mean, with Siege as an example, for anyone who's actually not familiar, it's like a hero shooter, essentially, the Tom Clancy hero shooter. Rather than run it like Overwatch, where you buy the game and then they just sell a bunch of cosmetics, but make the characters all interesting, kind of make you care about it, and you can still earn them for free by playing the game or whatever. Some people are interested in going ahead and decking their characters all out. You can't do that. Well, you can do that in Siege in terms of buying a whole bunch of stuff to deck your character out, but you can't really earn them for free in any real reliable way. You can get something toward trying to unlock characters, but that's kind of paywalled off. I wouldn't be shocked if you start seeing that with the NFT economy stuff in games where, oh yeah, you got to have this good item or these good items or whatever, and they're all super specific, and it's like a limited, commodity now. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like it. Don't like it.
Yeah, we may go ahead in the future have an episode about NFT stuff. I will go ahead and throw a shout out to the 1v1 Gaming Podcast. They went ahead and they had a show, I want to say 2 or 3 episodes ago, and they really got into the NFT discussion in a great way. They had some really great points and were clearly educated on the matter. I'm not savvy enough or smart enough, quite frankly, as I don't care about it, but I think for education purposes for our listenership, maybe at least one or all of us will go ahead and in the future have a much more in-depth discussion about it. But I agree with you, Matt. If it means going ahead and damning us to microtransactions continually, just microtransactions, as opposed to going ahead and throwing in the nuances of NFTs. Um, I don't know. For me, I'm almost on board with the consolidation, and I think it goes back to um, a quote. Oh my goodness, I had it and I just lost it. But you know who didn't lose it? Mark. Mark's got a point that he wants to bring up. Go ahead and take it away, Mark.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna. I'm right there with you as far as could care less. But as far as like the whole NFT thing moving into gaming, it's like you said. I think it's gonna be a phase, and then it might come and go. With half of us are gonna be like, oh yeah, bring it on in. Half of us are gonna be like, this isn't what gaming's all about. I mean, I think we touched briefly on it, a couple episodes ago, like whatever happened to, a game getting released and that's it. You pay for the game, enjoy it, that's it. But now it's like a money grabbing thing. So it's just turned into this more, not about the game, but more about money. So that's all I got.
Yeah, and like I said, that's what I'm fearful of. I couldn't remember the quote for the life of me, but it's no factor. But I agree, it needs to be about the games, not so much about how much we can monetize in a game. Yours truly, I believe that I kind of like. Um, Man, I am really just a loss for quotes and names today. But there's a saying. It came out of the Mario developer, but he said. A broken game can never be fixed or something to that effect. I'm butchering it terribly right now, but the bottom line is if you go ahead and bring out crap, it's going to be crap forever. If you go ahead and take the time to make a great game, it's going to be a great game. I mean, we're sitting here naming all these different titles that we have a reverence for, and that's because they went ahead and they took the time to make a good game. And I think word of mouth is probably going to be the biggest moneymaker that these devs can hope for. And the fact of the matter is, just focus and make a good game, guys. And the consumer base is going to go ahead and do the work for you. And with that,
I'm sorry.
sound. Oh God. Oh my God. What is your point? We
So
were
I
getting
just
ready for a segue. What?
no, I just want to get to a little bit. This is the NFT future. This is the I guess uh, the premise boiled down. So here's every major publisher or whatever. Here we go. Give me money, money now. Me a money needing a lot now. All right, sorry.
And with those words,
Thanks for tuning in, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This was the Slay the Spire podcast.
shows up and rap. Okay. Oh my God. Anyways. That sound, ladies and gentlemen, means we're moving on to our next segment and a relatively new segment on the show that we're going to call Release Radar. So, here in Release Radar, we're just going to go ahead and essentially capitalize, just put in a nice little box, the thing that we would normally do anyways, where we talk about the games that are coming up in essentially the next week or 2 weeks, and just go ahead and discuss, the ones we're most looking forward to, and then we'll round out the show with what we've been playing, what we've been doing, and where you can find us. So, once again, today we're going ahead and recording this on February 25th. The month is just about over, but the stuff that we can look forward to is we have releasing today Atelier Sophie 2, The Alchemist of the Mysterious Dream. That's on PlayStation 4, Switch, and PC. Elden Ring came out today. There we go. I thought it was yesterday. My dummy. It's today. And that came out on PlayStation 5, the Xbox Series consoles, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Grid Legends comes out on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series consoles, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. And then we can lean into next week a little bit. We got Elix 2 coming out PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Far Changing Tides coming out for PlayStation 5 and for Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Puzzle Quest 3 coming out on March 1st. That's going to be PC, iOS, and Android. Sorry if I missed some of the dates on these. Shadow Warrior 3 coming out March 1st. That's coming out on PS4 and Xbox One and PC. Babylon's Fall coming March 3rd for PlayStation 5, 4, and PC. And Gran Turismo 7 coming out March 4th, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, as well as Triangle Strategy coming out for Switch on March 4th.
yeah.
Oh,
Cool.
yeah.
With
Got my
that,
eye on that one.
there we go. Matt, go ahead and take it away, man. Let's talk about it real quick. What are you looking forward to next week?
I mean, yeah, so gonna definitely keep my eye on reviews for Triangle Strategy.
And Switch OLED.
Yeah, gonna have to check out the hype
Gotcha.
on Gran Turismo 7 once that is out as well. Elix 2, I'm gonna have to put my eye on. That's probably not one I'm gonna buy like right at release. I still need to go back and actually like get through the first one, but the first one was kind of interesting. It was neat. So yeah, that'll be, I guess, what I've got my eye on here.
And Matt, don't forget, if you're trying to get that Switch for the low, you can take a look back at the news that we posted about the new Nintendo Switch online store, where you can actually get specific hardware pieces like the Nintendo Switch refurbished for a discounted price. Mark, what are you thinking? Are any of these coming in the next week?
Well said.
Yeah.
Not much at the beginning of the month. I'm more towards the end. I'll jump ahead just on 2 titles. Kirby and the Forgotten Land and Tiny Tina's Wonderlands come out on the 25th. Those are the 2 hyped for this month, as you could say.
Okay, cool. Yeah, for me, not gonna lie, the stuff coming out this next week, probably the 1 or 2 that has me most excited is Gran Turismo 7. I want to play it. Whether or not I get it day one is yet to be determined. However, Shadow Warrior 3, I'm pretty sure there was talk of that coming out to streaming services, and I could be wrong, but that might be something interesting. Matt hasn't quite sold me yet on Triangle Strategy for Switch. But the Switch is the one platform that I have been paying full price for games, mainly because they don't ever go on discount that much. But he and I will
Nice.
talk about it online, and we'll figure out maybe I'll go ahead and start dipping into
Gonna
that
be the
world
new
a little
Slay the
bit.
Spire.
All right, cool guys. So
Yeah.
what have we been playing? Clearly, we've said the name like 3 different times. Mark, why don't you go ahead and tell us what you've been playing? Where can the people find you? What you've been up to?
Of course, you can find me every week right here at the G3 podcast. Whoop whoop. Have not been playing too much this week, sadly. No Slay the Spire. These guys can tell you all about it. Preach about it. Praise the good Lord about it. But yeah, not too much here. I'm gonna hop into some Halo. Haven't played that in a while. See what they added. See if they revamped the big team battle. Yeah, not too much, man.
All right, excellent. Matt, before we all go apparently play Big Team Battle tonight, why don't you go ahead and tell us about our Lord and Savior, the Spire, and what else you've been playing and getting into, and where people can find you if they choose to do so.
Yes, we praise it. Yeah, no, you got me addicted now to Slay the Spire, so that's what I've been doing in my little bit of gaming time this week. Awful convenient to boot it up on the cloud streaming through Game Pass on my phone, so I can just sort of click around with that while the old girlfriend's out here on the TV watching whatever she wants. Works pretty well.
Just Dance Evolution.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I've been playing mainly. Am looking forward to maybe getting a little bit of Halo in with you guys or something. That would be nice. Yeah, that's about all I've been playing here lately. We did play a tiny bit of Rocket League. But yeah, you guys can find me here as well every week. Otherwise, I may be trying to get into some streaming now that Xbox has integrated Twitch streaming back into the Xbox platform.
What?
Yeah, we'll see. Might get a little Rocket League in there when we're playing with the homies or something. But we'll see. I'll get back to everybody on that, I guess, once I get a little more ready for that.
All right, cool. Mark, you had something else you wanted to throw in
Well,
there?
on the streaming topic, we didn't really touch base on it. I mean, we could
Okay.
have. I don't know if anyone heard about it, but Xbox is
That's
partnering
right.
up with Twitch. I can't believe we
Again.
didn't. Yeah, again. They had the whole broadcast from your console thing with the whole mixer thing, and people were sad to see that go. And now they partnered back up with Twitch, and you can stream right from your console. Talked with these guys off air about maybe integrating the PC side to it, aside from third party software where you gotta open this, we're able to stream here and there. It'd be cool to integrate it all in the game bar. I don't know if you guys got anything to add to that, but that'd be pretty cool.
Not so much anything to add. Yeah, as you guys mentioned, they went ahead and Twitch was in, Twitch was out, Twitch was back in, and that was all based on decision points that Microsoft and Xbox wanted to do. They went ahead and they stood up their own service, that being Mixer, which again, just my humble opinion, I think was a better platform as far as technically speaking, specifications and latency. But then when you talk about the features that already exist and the bandwidth, it's good to see that they're going ahead and coming back with Twitch. What I personally like to see is them also have some direct YouTube streaming integration, but we'll see how that goes. But a lot of this integration also brings about the question of whether or not we're going to go ahead and start doing live shows. So we'll go ahead and think about that. That'll be something for the future. But if you want to go ahead and see us do if you want to see us do the live shows, hey, here's an idea. Go ahead and hop into the comment section, join the Discord, do any of that stuff, and let us know that you want to do it. Mark, I can feel it. The force is strong within me. You got some more stuff you want to chime in there, brother. Go ahead and do it.
No, I was gonna have Matt hit him with it real quick.
Say
With your slogan. Hit him with your slogan.
Nah, I ain't got no slogan.
Coming at you live.
Yeah.
Coming at you live. Literally this time.
Pre-recorded in Leo's basement.
Yeah. What's not happening in my basement, because I don't even actually have one, is anything. Again, yours truly, Leo, aka known as Ice on all things gaming and social media. What I've been doing, so definitely played a couple rounds of Rocket League with my boy Matt the past couple nights. All three of us neglected to mention that we actually tried to do the first adventure in Sea of Thieves. It was unfortunately a bust. Something happened. We might have done something wrong or something to that effect. But
that game hates us.
We could not progress past basically like stage 2 of the however many stages this mission was. Unfortunately, I think the time is running out on it. So I'll probably poke these guys and see if we can give it another shot. But that being said, as we mentioned, we're going to do some big team battle. Other than that, I've been doing some more professional stuff on the side. And what else have I been playing? A little bit, working almost. I'm trying to get to that 100% on the Spider-Man remaster on PS5. And what else? Yeah, it's an addiction. It is literally, when they tell you that is now in the DSM-5 about video games have addictive properties, Slay the Spire needs to be listed in there as a perfect example. It needs to have my picture right next to it. Like, ridiculous. I don't know why. I can't put the friggin' thing down, whether it's on Xbox or on PS5. And you know what the problem is? It's going to be a guilt trip for me. It's going to be a guilt trip to the point where I'm going to have to set it down because out of guilt going, I could be playing all these other games, but instead I'm playing this one game. But you know what? It is. There you go. But you know what? It's reassuring the fact that Matt took the plunge and he's on board with me and sees how addictive it is. It goes to show that I'm not completely out to lunch. So
not on this one.
Excellent. So, which goes to show what we talk about here on the G3 podcast is the gospel. So feel free to go ahead and check out any of our gaming recommendations. Once again, if you like the show, go ahead and hit that thumbs up. Feel free to give us a rating, a subscribe. Stay tuned for the next episode. And ladies and gentlemen, gamers of all ages, remember, G3.
Yeah, holla at your boys. G3.
I can never remember the thing. Right when I get hyped up, baby, I can't remember the line.
Gaming's greatest generation.
Ladies and gentlemen, remember, gaming's greatest generation, thank you, Matt, is the one you guys are a part of. Woo!
Thanks for listening to the Gaming's Greatest Generation podcast. We hope you enjoyed your time with us today. If you have any feedback for the show or would like to contribute ideas, feel free to call 702-690-9292 or email us at gamingsgreatestgeneration@gmail.com. You can also join the Discord community by following the link in the show notes. See you next time.